The reality is that people in college typically learn abstract principles that get applied to business. But the only thing that's of any value to business is to apply principles to specific problems. And that's kind of a little bit different circumstances, like when to use which principle on what sort of problem. You know, I've seen, for example, marketing people who think a marketing plan is a laundry list of every marketing tactic they could find in a book somewhere. But typically excellent marketing programs are narrowly focused on a couple very specific strategies or tactics, which means that the person actually has the wherewithal to know which strategy and tactic to use to achieve what sort of effect. And that's real experiential sort of experience, and that's understanding how to apply principles. It's not just being aware of the principles.
So it's not just book knowledge. It's not just
abstract.
memorizing.
Yeah, when I say abstract academic knowledge, that's the book knowledge part. But if you can't apply it to a theater, like let's say we want to open up distribution across Northern Europe, okay? You probably had a business class or two about that, so that might give you some idea.
There's probably a couple of chapters in a textbook.
What if I just throw an airplane ticket to Amsterdam on you and say, go open up a distribution channel and I want these 3 countries done in the next 6 months? What are you going to do?
So
that's a little bit different animal.
so you'd rather see students coming out that have experienced things outside the classroom, outside of a lecture hall?
Well, there's a couple things that I think, because I think there's a limit to what you can do in an academic setting. And I think some of that limit is artificial, and we, to your point, need to do a better job of pairing people. Some of it just, quite frankly, can't be done in an academic setting because it has to do with my business. It has to do with the value proposition we're bringing to the market and the technology and how it positions and what matters to our customer. It's the application of those principles to our specific circumstances. And you're not going to learn that in school, or you're not a school, you're a job prep, right? And that's a different animal. But I think from my perspective, the things that are typically missing that don't come in the book, and I've had this discussion with several CEOs, and I think there's a general consensus around it. I mean, there's a set of skills that really make the difference between somebody who's average at their job versus somebody who's exceptional at their job. And you don't get to be, you know, mid-level and senior level management by being average. At least not in the tech world I come from. I mean, I've got lots of average people running around. Only ones who are going to make it, even be in the organization 4 or 5 years from now, the ones that are well above average, and the only ones that are going to get advance over time are the people who are exceptional. And so there's skills that separate the average from the exceptional, or the average, the good from the great, and the great from the exceptional. That's, to me, one of the skills that just seems to be routinely missed.